Are you ready to discover who you came here to be? Welcome to the Human Design and Astro Club podcast. Human Design is a system and a tool that is here to empower you and show you your greatest potential. Come learn with us and discover who you really are. Hi friends, Crystal here. I am popping into this episode to give you a brief rundown on some exciting opportunities. Leah and I love coming on here week after week to provide for you value on the transits, education, and empowering interviews to help you align to your uniqueness. Before we dive into this next episode, I wanted to share with you many different opportunities to connect and work with us outside of the podcast. The first offer is actually completely free. Yep, you heard that right. We have a completely free guide to help you align to your authority. If you have been having a challenging time to understand how your unique authority works, we've got you covered because we have developed a guide on tips and tricks to honoring your strategy and authority. And you can pick up that free guide down below in our show notes. Now, the next opportunity is also free, so listen up. We know with the state of the world right now how deeply our children are being affected by the 2027 mutation that we are moving towards. So we have decided to put out a free live Zoom class for you to learn how to nurture your child through their design. This also goes for your inner child. So if you don't have a kid, you can still come. We'll be announcing the date soon, so definitely get on our wait list down below in our show notes. And we might have a special opportunity on our next class that we'll be announcing live during our kids class, so definitely join us for this unique opportunity. Next offer is a manual. We have developed a language manual on the concepts for human design. If you've been struggling with how to read your own chart or you don't understand the key terms in human design, we've got you covered. Go ahead right now and pick up your copy to your user manual to your true self down below. Next offer was just recently released to the public, so you are definitely not late. Leah and I have put together every single one of our variables classes and a bonus support group with a community page to connect on and 2 Zoom calls a month with topics related to human design, astrology, and tarot. This is a 6-month subscription service for only $39.99 a month, which is a steal if you ask me compared to buying all the classes a la carte. Come join us in the doorway and connect with us today and subscribe down below in our show notes. If you would like to just connect with us through our support group and be a part of those 2 Zoom calls a month and also our community page, we do have a separate tier for that as well, and you can subscribe to our support group down below. Now, speaking of a la carte, we do have mini classes on the 4 transformations, which you can pick up either the individual class or a bundle for determination, cognition, and also our environments class. View and motivation are an exclusive to the doorway only, and you get every single one of the colors and tones if you sign up for the doorway. But if you just want to get your feet wet, definitely pick up an a la carte class down below in the show notes. Now, if you're a transit junkie and you've been loving our program episodes and you're interested in knowing what's going on for this year, you will most definitely want to get our 2022 energy forecast that includes all of the major cosmic events and all the major cosmic players of this year through the lens of human design, astrology, and tarot, and you can pick that up down below. Now, last but not least is an opportunity to connect with us one-on-one if you would like a reading. I have had the opportunity to help so many of you have breakthroughs on your design with my Desire, Motivation, and Power View. I really can show each and every one of you where your power is in your design and how to use it in this material world. Go ahead and check out my offers through my website down below in the show notes. And if you would like a tarot reading, definitely check out Leah's website down below as well. And I would like to thank each and every one of you for the love and support for this podcast and also us as individuals. I will stop open throating right now and go ahead and let you check out this next transformative episode. I'll see you over there, friends, and thank you for being here. Welcome to the Human Design and Astro Club podcast. I'm Crystal.
And I'm Leah. Come on.
One day I'll have, you would think I would maybe have written something down at this point, but no. On the third line, I'm gonna let my open throat just, riff. It feels like it's put on the spot. I feel like I should have some really witty tagline for us, and I have nothing.
I feel like that might be a traditional opening sentence for us. It's just
dead air.
5 words and then dead air. Everyone's like, yep, we're ready. Just keep going.
Well, hello, everybody. If you're out there, if you're still here, if you're still sticking around, welcome. If you're new here, thanks for finding us. We are a podcast that we discuss human design, astrology, and tarot. We try to make this information more digestible for people, and we try to give you direction with it in practical ways to actually use it in your life. We also do interviews on here and education. I was like, what's that last thing that we do? We do education. One of our bonus episode for last week was educational on the centers mixed with your environment variable. And we discussed the past, present, and future. And it was a good conversation. So if you didn't hear that one, definitely go check it out. So how are you doing, Leah?
Good. It was a busy day today. I had 2 cleanings, and then I came home and went for a walk with my neighbor, and then laid on the floor. We got back to our 2 projectors. All 3 of us actually, but Corinna and I just came back, and she just laid on the floor. She's like, I can't move any further. I'm like, me either, friend. So we just laid on the couch for 20 minutes.
Milo does the same thing. When his sacral's I have no juice left, everything has emptied out. He's like, I can't go on. I'm like, you can go. Okay. Yeah. You can go, child. You're almost 7. You got more energy than I even know what to do with. So
I have crazy energy.
Yeah.
How about you?
I am feeling kind of like Eeyore. I feel like I'm going to be operating, or at least thinking that I am an emotional for, I feel like the rest of the year. It's just gate 30 is going to be in for the rest of the year. It's now retrograde. It's already in there for a while. So it's okay, just settle in. Settle in to the depths of despair. I told my emotional manifestor friend yesterday, I was like, I feel like somebody threw me into the deep end with my swimmies on, and I was swimming, and then someone came over and popped them, and now I'm drowning. And she told me in pure emotional manifestor fashion, she just said, sink. That's what that was her response.
Wow.
And I was like, you're probably right. Just sink into the feelings, Crystal. The feelings are yucky. I don't really like them. I have a completely open solar plexus, but it's my voice is different right now, my whole demeanor, and just this last week, you always want to have high hopes because I've had some pretty good runs when the money lines come in. This last one was awful.
Right.
And I feel like it's still with me.
I don't know what it was about this time, though. There's got to have been some other things that were.
Yeah, I need to go look and see, maybe astrologically what could have been
Yeah.
playing with that. I mean, I ended up spending more money than I made this last week because Otis decided to stick a toy down the toilet. And now the toilet is broken. And we now need to replace the toilet. So that's fun.
Super
Fun experience. Which we're going to be getting a lot of experiences, or at least wanting to feel these experiences again this next week. There's a lot of love and feelings happening, and yeah, we're in the past right now. I'm actually about to go on vacation. I'm like I should be. I keep telling myself all day today, I'm like, you should be more excited about
yeah.
like getting away and like maybe like taking a break. But as a generator, and especially because things seem to be going a little wonky, I'm like, that means my conditioning says, so that means I need to work harder.
Yeah.
That means I need to push my little defined heart as hard as she can go until she can't go no more.
Mm-hmm.
And then my body's like, no, that's
No.
not, that's, you're supposed to do the opposite.
Yeah.
Where,
Your body's already doing what you should be doing, is slowing down.
yeah, my body's like, we're putting, or like, I feel like the universe is like, we're putting some barriers in front of you right now because you need some rest.
Mm-hmm.
You actually put yourself during this time to rest, but because I'm in like this generator lull, that like sometimes it's like minor and they're like shorter and they're like less abrasive, but this one is like, I'm gonna beat you down to a pulp to where you just give up, just like I don't know how to surrender. So but I feel like the next few days, at least while we're gone, I'll be forced to surrender.
Yeah.
And we have nothing going on. We didn't plan anything. It's also Father's Day weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't want to plan anything for that, even though, I feel like we had to give them Father's Day. It's like, like that wasn't a thing for like, when did Father's Day actually happen? It was like a good while after Mother's Day
I have no
was
idea.
announced a holiday. I want to go look that up now. My first lines and my open head's like, so what's the deal with that? Yeah, I don't know.
Well, happy Father's Day to all the dads out there doing the dad things.
Yeah, we don't know how many men are listening to us. I think we do have analytics of that.
I think so. Or, your dad's or your dad's dad's.
Somebody has a dad. Tell a dad happy Father's Day. All right.
Go to Home Depot and just walk around and tell all the dads
Yes, that's where they hang out.
where they are.
They're at Home Depot, Lowe's,
The pub.
they don't, yeah, a pub, a brewery.
Where am I in England?
I'm like, what country are we in? A pub.
I don't know where I am.
It might be.
Sometimes words come out and I don't know why they do.
I mean, I say weird things most of the time. You probably can't even understand what I'm saying. My mom has always said, speak up. She's she's like, speak up. You're mumbling. I don't know what she's like, you talk like this.
Yeah.
But I'm like, well, I don't know. My mom is also high sound. So she talks like this. I'm not gonna, because I don't want to explode your guys' ears, but just think of my volume at a much higher pitch. Like people that are high sound, I don't know if you notice, but their voice is like an octave higher. And yours, low sound people, always an octave lower. I have not come across one high sound or low sound that has not fit this bill yet. I'm waiting for one of you guys to not be like literally high or low. I was like, hold on, after like probably 4 of each of encountering, and then also I live with one. My husband's low sound, and I'm like,
shit, you guys actually, because also like, because my throat's completely open. So I like hear tones very well. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, wow, you guys really are one up and one down. And my mom, I'm so curious about other high sound people, but my mom, she loves the divas, lives for Celine Dion was like her jam. If I had to listen to My Heart Will Go On one more time, like she still listens to that song.
And I'm like, how deep and dark down into the tones can you go? Like, I love the
Did
the
you like
deepest
emo
ones.
music? Were you an emo kid in high school?
No,
No,
no, I was
what were
not.
you classified as?
I'm a band geek. hmm
A band, but a
And I
lot of
played the
band.
bass clarinet, which is the lowest version of the clarinet. hmm
I did not know that.
Yeah,
That's actually hilarious.
I loved the clarinet. Like I played that too, but the bass is definitely that was
You're
my
like,
jam.
this feel like I
Yeah,
need that undertone there.
yeah, as low
Yeah.
as possible.
Dave still doesn't believe me. So he is now playing guitar again. He like us generators were like, should we allow ourselves some pleasure? And we're always like, no, can't do that. You must work harder to be in pleasure, right? Work hard to play hard.
Yep.
Like I feel like a manifester like told us that like back in the day, and now like we're like, I guess we do have to work hard to play hard. And he's like doesn't believe me, but he finally bought himself a guitar. He like plays with his headphones on. And I was like, oh, because when I see human design, I like to like casually throw it, and also not so casually because I also like to annoy him with it. He's like, I might have to divorce you one day, like in this. This
You'd
might
be like,
have
wait,
to
let me
happen.
look up the transits to see when's the best time to do so.
I would say. But anyway, so he has his headphones on, and I'm like, oh, I was like, so you got to play with your headphones on. I see there. He's like, I can only, there's a chord that I can only hear when it's like inside. And I was like, yeah, that's because you hear things at a subtle, lower volume, and you need to have like it's surrounding you so you can pinpoint it because
Yeah.
it's right. It's rightness. So you can't pinpoint things when it's all around you sometimes, especially when you're looking for specific, especially because he is right brain, left mind. So it's like I look at it as it starts out as this big giant black hole of information that like comes in, and then it starts to like as it's processing, like it's like like processing the system, and then as it's coming in processing, it's like shrinking and shrinking until it's like almost like one frequency, right? And so for you to pinpoint that one frequency, it really needs to be controlled. I'd say for low sound people, and I'm sure high sound people, they need to do this sometimes too, because it's like you guys hear things at a certain level. But I know that Rod did talk about headphones with you guys in one of his lectures, but I don't think that's always true. I mean, I feel like there's so much nuance to human design, and it's really just an experiment after all. So it's like, how do you relate to this? But obviously hearing what he actually said, then you can say, is that correct for me or not? Or is there a different version of how I should do it? Like Dave is also Valley's environment. And so for him, he really needs to have a really open space. Like for narrow valleys, they like almost like a tunnel, right? But for wide valleys, it needs to be vast. So a lot of so we fight about doors being open and closed. I am kitchens, I'm internal, right? I'm also calm determination, and I like my shit closed. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't like ors coming in while I'm doing things. I also, because I'm left dominant, left brain and mind, that I don't like being spooked. Like I'm like a freaking horse. Like I get spooked like really, really easily, especially when I'm focused on something. Like if someone were to come up to me right now and scare me, like I'd probably like break my mic because the screams would be very loud. He constantly is scaring me. Like I'll be in the middle of like doing my makeup. And you think like, I know there's other people that live in this house, right? But if I'm and I know my left brains and also minds are like thinking, yes, this is me too. Because like when we're like laser focused, because we're laser focused people. So when we're laser focused on things, we have no idea what's happening around us. I do have right environment though. So I have a sense. It's almost like I can sense when someone's creeping up behind me. But if I'm like in the zone, it's like, I'm like, oh my God, a murderer's here. Like every time this is when it's happening. This is when it's happening.
That's so interesting because I'm the same as Dave, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right, left. So I definitely feel that like it takes me a while to like find a focus on something, and I have to tell myself
What
okay,
to focus on.
This is what we're focusing on, so that I don't get completely like cleaning.
Yeah.
I clean anywhere else and I have a system. I clean at my house and I walk around with an armful of stuff going, okay, now I just saw this other thing. And, people relate it to other stuff, but I'm like, okay, take a second and take everything in your arms and put it where it belongs, and then go back to finish the task that you were just doing. And it just helps me like remind myself, okay, this is where I was cleaning in that particular spot. And both my kids are left, and I don't know what the second one is, if they're left or right. I can't remember.
What do you mean?
Left mind.
I'm pretty sure they're both left brain and mind.
I think so too. And so they're like you, where they're so hyper focused on something, and I'm like, look at me, focus on me, so because they get locked in on stuff and they won't hear a single thing that's going on around them.
Yeah. But for right people, it's a receptivity. So it's like you want them to more so like pay attention to their environment more so than to focus, because they're not focused beings. So when you tell a right person to focus, they're like, I don't even know what that means.
Yeah.
Like, and it's so interesting watching the variables flipped. My mom is left brain and right mind. So here's an example with her. So she's also a manifesting generator. So just think about that. This is like her. Like her mind has to be doing this a lot. That's all I like. It's like back and forth. I'm like, what is happening up there? But she'll like think she got all the information, and because it comes in so fast for her, but then for her to process it is like slower. The processing time is slower. So it's like she got in something really fast, but she can't fully make sense of it. So she'll just like make it up, and she'll just be like, oh, you said blah, blah, blah. And she's also, as we get older, our senses, they go a little bit. I'm trying to be so nice about this. I don't know how to say it I don't know. I don't know it's like my open solar plexus likes to tiptoe around feelings. But so she'll make up what she thought you said. And the sentence makes no sense. She didn't think about it. She didn't process it clearly. And I'm like, what was that? And she'll be like, I'll be like, I'm going to the park. She's like, you're going to see Clark? I'm like, no.
Oh man.
But she's kind of always been that way.
Yeah.
And like she won't pay attention to like what's happening in her surroundings. She's also undefined G center. So she used to give me like my brother's toothbrush for like sleepovers.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, you don't even know your kids' toothbrushes? Do you know which toothbrush is for which kid? Oh, you don't?
No.
Okay.
I do not. They know which like cup is each other's cups based on which direction, like, I don't know, the straw is facing. it makes no sense to me. I'm like, I don't care. Just drink out of the cup.
Yeah. I mean, I don't care about cups, but I'm like, I don't know. I feel like would you have
Toothbrushes, yes,
they're very,
absolutely.
that's
But I
really
would ask them.
that's personal.
Yeah, I would ask them whose toothbrushes whose before.
But you
I
don't
sent
know
it
whose
out.
toothbrush is who.
I don't know whose this is now.
I do.
I don't. Well, because they're old enough to brush their own teeth now, so it's like they just go in there and they brush.
Yeah.
I need to put that on my grocery list, by the way.
Another toothbrush.
Yeah. I'll still forget. Write it down.
Well, anyways,
Random thoughts of our
we like to just like randomly tie in human design with whatever it is we want to talk about. A lot of times it's variables. And I love talking about the mind and the brain because they're both so different the way they're experiencing frequency.
Yeah, it took me a while to
I know you were like, hold on,
unwind all of that information. Yeah,
you kept saying, so what is the difference?
Because you like for anybody else, we're like the mind and the brain are the same thing because they're up here, but they're really not. Like they're
the mind is we have a mental body. Also, people don't even realize that we have mental bodies, right? We have emotional body, like our aura is layered with different types of bodies, right? And so it's like, and like the way we process something is different than the way we take it in. It's different.
Right.
So, and I think that if more people knew about how different it was and the way that it's experienced, a lot of things that, you know, I never like to get into like medical things because we're obviously not medical doctors. In case, I don't know, in case you were wondering.
Definitely not.
But it just, I would be so curious for like a brain specialist or a psychiatrist to take this information and see like how it can fit into the medical field, because I feel like there's answers in there for a lot of things. We've talked about them, and obviously it's all just theory because we would have to conduct a very long study to get any real information on something.
And we're all
like
just
that.
observing people.
Yeah, we're just observing. That's why I'm saying we would have to do a real lengthy study to know, which I'm willing to do.
Which we are willing to do, by the way. Strangely enough.
I told you my story. I know you're looking at the time. I can see what you're doing.
Me?
Yeah.
No, I was looking at the time, but I don't know why I was looking at the time. I was just curious.
I feel like your projector body was like, how much longer is
you going? I just check the time randomly throughout our time.
I feel like you're trying to keep track of the time. I feel like everyone's trying to.
I said strangely enough, and I thought Stranger Things. I was like, am I gonna get an episode in tonight? That's where I went.
Are you still deathly afraid?
No, I'm not deathly afraid. I'm going. I'm on.
I have another show that you have to watch after. I told it to you. I think I told it to you last night. Whatever the show, something obey, pray.
Oh yeah, no. Is it no, obey, pray?
Oh, sweet. What's it called?
I don't remember.
Sweet something, obey, pray. It's about the Mormons.
Is it on on Netflix or
it's on
Apple?
Netflix? Yeah, Netflix. It's about, you know, polygamy and like that new sector of Mormonism and how it got started, and then like how it got more corrupt. And it's like, I'm like, I want these people's charts.
Right.
Like, I'm like, maybe we need it. Like, I want you to watch it because it is so geared for the seven centered, but like there's so much there. And I'm just like, I need to look up these people's charts. I didn't get a chance to do. Even I didn't know if Dave was going to get into it, because sometimes he likes these kinds of things and sometimes he's like, turn this shit off. And I'm like, I want to watch this because it's you have to watch it. It's like you can't look away. You just like, and it keeps going and you're like, and like the conditioning from birth with these people, it's another level. It's like I mean, cults. I mean, it's a cult. And I love cults. There was one on HBO like a year ago with the guy with the aliens.
Mm,
Did you see that one?
I don't think so.
That one was intense. I love cults though.
It
So
is very interesting.
speaking of love of humanity,
Speaking of aliens and weird things.
yeah, speaking of all those things, let's talk about what's happening for this week.
All right, let's get to it.
So Monday, we kick off the week. Like I said at the end of last week, we're in a new program now that's about aligning our heart to love another and also to align to our natural rhythm. We had the opposite end recently inviting us to find routines, and this is now about finding rhythm with those new routines. Sometimes we have to balance ourselves out, and this is the energy this week, and we are being grounded in some more love. It's like double the love this week, and it's about a deeper love, and this is a love for who you are. Can you get centered into yourself this week? Could be a great question to ask yourself. Heart activity is also happening on Monday, giving us a defined G center and a defined heart center, again, for all of our open undefined hearts and also our undefined Gs. But I know when the open undefined hearts gets that heart energy, it's like invigorating for you guys, it seems. At least that's the way you guys explain it in our support group. That's what it seems like. And also when I do sessions with them, like I can feel my heart going from theirs and like the back and forth. It's interesting. Anyways, so this is inviting us to be initiated by life itself. What a beautiful energy to come in if we can all realize how deeply connected we all are to each other. If you don't normally have these centers defined, it's going to be a quick passing, but then we're going to get some more of it later. So just be prepared for that. But there's a quick passing with it right now on Monday, late Monday night, early Tuesday. And this is a beautiful time happening right around the solstice, which is happening on Tuesday, the summer solstice, which I'm going to do actually a little ritual with a few people. I invited some people over to my house again. So this is a good time to gather with the love of humanity in transit, and in the summer solstice, like this is a good time to, be with the ones you love. So our communication style at the beginning of the week is going to be on your expression and the way you identify, and maybe sharing your talents and skills, or admiring other people's talents or skills that can maybe spark an interest in what you're good at. So Tuesday, we have the summer solstice, and this is an astronomical start that marks with the beginning of summer. Well, sort of. It's like it's what it's doing is it's telling us that in the northern hemisphere, this is that we're in summer, and then in the southern hemisphere, this is the beginning of winter for you guys, which is really hard for me to like feel into that with how hot it is right now. But but then when it's our winter, then it's their summer. It's just so interesting when we can all be like living on the planet at the exact same time, but experiencing something completely different. That blows my mind a little bit. I don't know if it blows any of your minds, but that's what I think about. So this will be the longest day and one of our shortest nights on this calendar. And the sun reaches the northernmost point in the sky during this time. And the peak will be happening in the morning for many. So I don't know, maybe go get some sun on this day. I think I might go to the pool on this day. Actually, no, we'll be driving back. I just realized. Nope. No, we won't. Just kidding. It's the day before. Sorry, I was just calculating in my head. So We are still going to have the heart and the G center energy happening during this time. As I talked about earlier, almost shining a light for us on where we need to go this season and really helping us with that solstice energy. Can we step more into love? With this being the longest day, can you surround yourself with love through this, through like almost the direct sunshine? I wonder for our direct light people, like I would say for you guys, you got to go be in the sun on this day. It's got to almost like, what's the word? It'll like it just uplift your spirits, like really like cleanse your soul is what I see for you guys. I mean, all of us really, but I feel like it impacts direct light people a little bit more. So this is going to be all about the next steps in your life during this time. There's a potential for guidance through the divine source, whatever you want to call it. Do a little ritual with this. Like I said, I know I will. I'll share a part over on my Instagram page. So if you want to check that out to get a little more information and see what I'm doing during that day. So then late Wednesday, we have a deep awakening coming through our expression of truth. There's a lot of like uplifting, pushing movement this week. So it's interesting. So it's no coincidence this is coming in right after the solstice energy, which was providing us direction on connection. And this is about expressing our truth through love. So much love happening this week. And then we also have some root pressure coming in hot on Thursday and pushing us to contemplate some old patterns, maybe from childhood, that have been blocking us. And this is a time to move, to help it move to the surface and to find love for ourselves on this day. You might face a bunch of projections in regards to this, but use those triggers as a tool. I myself have been doing a lot of healing like that. So allow the past to come to the surface right now. There will always be new layers to be healed. And it's like new levels that I believe are pushing us to love ourselves at a deeper level. This is all perfect for this week that is really diving deep into self-love and self-discovery. And then we have on Friday an emotional surge that's pushing us to share our feelings through our experiences. It's almost a full stream. But for my undefined and open roots, unless you have gate 41, you are particularly, you might feel that pressure a little bit more. So it almost like a pressure to feel your feelings a little bit more because there's so much openness happening there. So allow yourself this week to just float into the feeling. Don't pressure yourself to feel the feeling. Just float into it. I'm when I say this, I'm speaking directly to myself. As a 1-3, it has to come through me. I'm like, float into love, Crystal. So for everybody else, which we're gonna be in my incarnation cross, so all the vessel of loves, like this is your week. Like you should feel right at home this week. So a new program starts on Saturday that's pressuring us to focus. Can we be still enough to focus on what is important to us, on our next chapter, to ground us in being alive again? Do you have the zest for a better life this week? Because we're pushing ourselves to love ourselves, love our life enough, love each other, right? And then it's like after that comes through, then it's like, now can you really harness that love? Can you see how to almost like move that love? Can you see the pressure to love almost deeper? So where was your heart with the last program? This will lead you to the joyous. Our communication will be on our feelings and speaking from I feel. And that's the majority of the week. So we have, still that throat energy and the ajna defined. Like I feel like that we're going to 43-23 for the rest of our lives. Like I'm like, is this ever moving?
Yeah, it's interesting that it's still, and I mean, obviously people will be feeling it in different ways depending on like if they have it defined or part of it or whatever, but
Yeah.
it is interesting to continue to see people being kind of that more either the freak or the genius. I feel like I fall into the freak a lot more often lately.
Interesting.
For some reason. I don't know. But I keep saying things and people, it does not hit.
It's
And
like,
I'm
oh
just like,
man, that one
"Ugh."
didn't land. And I mean, that happens to me a lot too, because I have the 43. And right now
Mhm.
it's like, there's a lot of mental pressure ever since the 43/23 came in, like a little bit after. I was like, when it first comes in, you're like, I don't really know what to make of it. And now I'm like, it's in the fourth line. And I'm like, oh, I'm like pressuring myself to connect. Like I joined this other Facebook group that's like with a bunch of entrepreneurs that live locally. And I was like, maybe I need to like, network. My third line tells me I need to network. I'm like, bitch, you're a third line.
Yeah.
But that's not true. Obviously I can network, but it's not as natural. I think it is as it is for you. You would be like, you just go in and just blah 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 blah. And I'm over here like, should I say something? And I'm like, I kind of need to know someone first. My third line says, I'm like, I
Yeah.
need to bond first. And so like I chatted with a few people inside there, and I'm like, and then they're like, come to the next thing. And I'm like, I'm like, but I feel the pressure to do it, but I don't know if I can actually do it.
Yeah. Give yourself some time to think about it, I guess, if you have time to think about it.
Yeah. I don't know if I should do thinking though, because I'm too
Well,
open
it
up there.
sounded like you didn't have a clear answer. Like your sacral didn't have a yes or a no to that. It was like confused.
Yeah. There's
So
some
maybe just
fears. There's,
reapproaching it, maybe not
yeah,
thinking about
maybe
it.
when it gets to closer to the other time. And then
Mhm.
I'm also like, I want to pass all my cards out to all these like spiritual places and yoga places, and like just pass your card out to everyone, and eventually someone will book you. And I'm like, stop trying to initiate. Okay. It's like, I don't know.
Well, I
It's
mean,
so
you're not,
hard being a generator with
I
all
think
this
like in
energy.
that, but in that scenario, like you're putting your card there. So whoever is wanting to find you or needs to find you
But I have to like
will look at
ask
it.
first,
But you're not asking the people that you're going to be helping. You're just asking to put your card out
No,
there.
I want them to hire me to do a class.
Oh, I
Yeah,
thought you meant like pin your card to their board or something.
oh, well, I guess if I see some, that's easier. Yes.
Yeah. That's
If
why I was like, it's not really too difficult, but now I can understand if you wanted to like be doing readings.
Well, I want to teach a class on like the basics of human design,
Yeah.
because I feel like it's so important for everyone. And I mean, most people don't know what it is, but a lot of people in Nashville do. I just talked to a tarot reader on the street in Nashville last
Yeah.
weekend, and I was like, I do human design. And she's like, oh, I know what that is. It's like, huh. It's just so
Mhm.
interesting when people like on the street say, oh, I know what that is. I'm like, that's so
Yeah.
interesting. But it's always in Nashville, not so much in over where I am. I'm
Mm.
a little further out.
Yeah.
But
Well, let's
let's see.
see what the cards say for the week about love
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
all that
And
good jazz.
the solstice, pull for the sunshine. I feel like we have to play like Cover Me in Sunshine right now or something.
Oh, I was just singing, let the sunshine, let the sunshine in. No. Oh, how old is that song? Holy cow, I'm dating myself. Okay, so I got the King of Wands, or in this deck, it's called the King of Rods. And the kings are all about basically like the masculine energy. So the queens are more of the feminine, the soft, flowy energy, and the kings are more about the masculine or the father figure or strength and balance, sort of. So it being a wand is more of, especially with this king, the wands are about creativity. And so I think with the king, it's like asking us to tap into our strengths in creativity. He also has, I'll show you in the card, is the strength is the lion here, and he's got a wand with the flower on the end. So I feel like that kind of gives it that softness of like allowing yourself to, and you said this before, like how do we allow ourselves to find more things that are creative and opening ourselves up to imagination or finding whatever it is that brings us joy. Like a lot of times we forget that we don't have to push and work and do all of the things. Like you might think a masculine energy is to like force through things and to be more forceful or even like strong, but this might mean for us to kind of allow that creativity to flow through. Like how can we allow ourselves to be softer with ourselves, because we've been kind of strong, I think, through all of the retrograde periods and everything that we've just gone through. So like, and I kind of feel like
we're still going through.
We're still going, but you know, with Mercury gone and everything. And I feel like the colors in this card, if for anybody, if I get this YouTube video up before the end of the
next
month,
year.
the sun seems to be rising here. Like that kind of looks like a rising sun, a solstice, right? So
yeah,
maybe this is a time for us to tap into our creative side and allow the peak hours of daylight for us in the northern hemisphere to you know, get more creative or get up a little earlier and do something for yourself instead of doing something for everybody else first. I always think of like, and I used to do this for myself a lot, was and I say I used to, and I feel like I still kind of do more now, is you get up and you do something for you first instead of logging into your email. Like do something for yourself, make a cup of coffee and just watch the sunrise. You don't have to actually go and do something, but like just do something for you that allows you that peace of mind before you go in and just pour everything into work. So I don't know, maybe that's a suggestion for people.
I do. I literally wake up. You would think I sleep in my gym clothes. I like wake up. I used to sleep in my gym clothes actually.
Here we go.
But I wake up, I grab my energy drink, and then I go downstairs. Well, when Milo was in school, I would get him ready, and then because Dave works from home, he would just take him to school, and I would work out while he's doing that part.
Yeah.
But I have to. I feel like especially if you're like personal karma and not transpersonal karma. I'm not telling you transpersonal karma to not do things for yourself, but I would say specifically more for personal karma people, it's like extremely important for you. Again, not saying transpersonal not important for you, but I feel like a lot of personal karma people are constantly doing so much for others, more so than for themselves.
Yeah.
And I think that in order to pour into somebody else, you have to pour into yourself first, which took me a long time to figure out.
Yeah, because it's sort of like you're pouring water into a tub trying to fill it and the drain is open. It's like, okay, you're not going to get anywhere if you're continually letting stuff flow into other people. And it's hard, I think, because we are so conditioned to just keep going and to do stuff for other people, like put everybody else in front of yourself. But think about how they tell you on an airplane, like you have to put your oxygen mask on first in order to help somebody else. Like it's so true.
That's true.
And I feel like there will probably be people that have resistance to that, but you really have to like put yourself first so that you can serve others, or that so that you can't not even serve, like literally just be there.
Yeah, because some people don't like that word serve. I don't mind it. I don't mind it for me because I really do feel like I'm in a place of service now. I feel like before it was in a place of like attention, and now it's like how I'm like, I have so much experience behind all this and resource and wisdom that I'm like, I have to fill someone else's cup up. I feel like that's how it starts. It has to start with you, and then it flows into another. And if we all did it that way, we would realize how deeply connected we are. And that's the theme of this week.
So true.
Is that thread that's running through all of us. So one more.
One more card. And this one's from the Soul's Journey, which is, they're like oracle cards, but they're called lesson cards.
Which is probably fitting for Saturn retrograde.
Yeah, right. So this might be helpful. And I there might be a reason that they have these pictures on here, probably on the front. I could read it to you later, but this one's called Judgment. And it says, I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges. We are all spirit. We are all the same. It's only the roles that we have chosen to play here on earth that make us seem different. The biggest lesson you have chosen to learn is to love. There are so many situations in this physical dimension that it is possible to incarnate into, but the core lesson is to look back at these illusions and see yourself in everyone. Each soul has chosen its own struggles, and your task is not to judge how someone comes about overcoming these obstacles, but to assist that soul. Spirit has given you the tools to tools of compassion and empathy to help you see through the eyes of those who appear different. Your ego has taught you that making other people feel insignificant or inferior will allow you to feel better about yourself, but that's an illusion. By diminishing others, you diminish yourself. Always learn to follow the golden rule. I treat others as I would like to be treated. Everyone in your life is here to teach you something about yourself. Accept the lesson and love and understand.
Wow, that's like the most fitting card that you pulled in a long time, because it really depicts the entire week between the love of humanity into like we have half of the channel of judgment coming in for the next program.
Wow.
So yeah, it's like
Yeah. I feel like that's
Yeah.
so, like, when people say, if someone said this today, and I was like, that's really just like a reflection of themselves. Like, calling somebody names or calling them this and that, or saying they're this kind of person, or, judging them for some sort of behavior is really just like a fear or a shadow
yeah,
of
so
something that
everything's a
we're
projection.
a projection of ourselves.
Everything is a mirror. Like when I first started learning about Kabbalah, they told me the way that also Ross speaks about that we're in a movie. And when I first heard that, I was like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? We're in a fucking movie. Like everything is just like a mirror of your internal world. And I'm like, no, but these people are mean. But that's how I feel internally. And like, could we imagine for a second before we close out, could we imagine if we spoke to other people the way we speak to ourselves in our mind? Like, could you do that? The way you talk to yourself a lot and you put yourself down? Like this last week, I haven't done this in a long time, but I'm like, I guess I'm going in the deep end and just went to the darkest places. And I wrote a poem that's kind of resembles what you just said, because with gate 12 and also my emotional transit right now, I wrote a poem. Can I share it?
Yes,
I'm
please.
going to share it. Hold on. It is called I Am. This is what I wrote. I am more than my body. I am more than this face. I am open and loving. I am fearing the space. I am cloudy and judgmental. I am drowning in the race. I am allowing. I am surrounding. I am free. Like, that's what I imagine the wave is like. It's like going into like the darkest place of yourself and judging the emotion and the feeling and thinking that this is going to last forever and feeling like a failure and like I'll never be able to like run as fast as everybody else. And but then like when you finally just like surrender to the now, to your environment, like, and realize that all of this passes, that you're actually free and you can actually allow the feeling to move and experience what freedom actually feels like, because you felt bound before that.
Yeah.
So I haven't reached that part yet. But it's just so interesting when you're in an emotional transit and you're like, this is forever. Like as a non-emotional, I'm like, this feeling is forever. I'm going to be Eeyore forever. I'm going to be depressed forever. And one day it passes.
It does pass.
So if anyone's feeling the darkness, I'll sit in the dark with you, because I'm right there right now, and my son's in the dark. My son's in the 12th house, and that's the dark. If you didn't know, we have a free class coming out. Potentially, we are undefined roots, so we cannot tell you exactly when, and we'll tell you when it comes closer to the time that we're ready, but it will most likely be in July sometime. So we'll definitely inform you. Definitely get on the wait list and our email list, both, just to make sure you don't miss this email, because you have to come live for it to be free. So we will give you enough notice so that you can hopefully make it. We're going to try to do it at a time that as many people can join. But obviously not everybody can. And it will probably be turned into some sort of class after that with a little bit of a guide, is what we're hoping. We'll see. We love feedback first. And part of the reason why we want to make it free, but majority because we think parents need this right now. We think the world needs this right now. Even if you don't have a child, or you might have like a niece or a nephew, or you want to do some inner child work and go back to when you were that little generator and try to heal some part of you, definitely come to the class. So you'll be able to join the wait list down below in the show notes. Click the link that says wait list for the free. It's called
Nurture your child through
their human design.
their human design.
Yeah, it's a working title.
It's in the show
And
notes.
whenever I'm on here and my open throat's like on the spot, I have to remember like our email or our Instagram name. I'm like, I don't know what anything
It
is.
just
And
goes poof.
it just, my open head, it's like it was never there in the first place. So yeah, join us. And then we've got some interesting stuff coming up that we're working on behind the scenes. So if you're interested, definitely get on our email list, because that's the first to know. And then also follow us over on Instagram, because that's when you'll definitely know through our stories. We always share this stuff through our stories. We share our experiences through human design and our stories. I share information on education over there through a bunch of different lenses. So go and check us out. And we hope you enjoy your week.
Yeah.
Happy Father's Day. Happy Summer Solstice. Happy life. And we'll see you on the next one.
See you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. Crystal and I are really here as defined hearts to provide value to you with our unique insights. If you have found any of this episode valuable to you, we ask that you share with a friend, tag us with a highlight on Instagram, and write us a review so we can reach more people. Human design and astrology are tools to guide us toward our transformation. You are a unique and beautiful being, and we encourage you to let that light inside of you shine bright. See you in the next episode, friends.